Oh, oh, hello, my sweet. So won't you come with me? There's oh so much to show in this grim dark distillery. So if you like bullshit or want some hobby tips, this nightmare priest nigh unbind real world magnificent welcomes you. Hello, my sweets. It finally happened, chat. It did. Hi, Possum. It did finally happen. I watched Junkhead, and it was great. I loved it. Um, I regret not watching it before, but I also just was not in the right headspace. But ow. um, but yeah, that pretty much was the whole gist of it. And hopefully, this is not going to be boring. We can switch it up and we can do something else if people are not going to, vibe with this. I can go ahead and I'll zoom in so we're not looking at my junk-filled desk and the hellscape in which I work in as much as we could be. But I'll go ahead and make it to where you can see what I'm working on. So we have a couple things that we can work on today. I had a very busy weekend. One, watched John Ked. Two, was very social. Hung out with a bunch of people in the past week, which is not usual. That's not a normal thing for me. I'm trying to be a person again, or pretend like one at least. And it's also weird, man. Oh man. Shout out to my boys, John and Steve, for giving me real talk in the pool while I was just gonna sink to the bottom. Uh, I don't handle temperature change well. My body does not regulate temperature very well. Um, and it's weird because I'm very aware of that, but I don't do anything to work with that. I just accept it, which is very strange. I don't really do that with anything else. Anywho, so pretty much I jumped in this pool, and I was just so fucking cold. I was just like, oh my god, I'm just so cold. And it's so cold above water and underwater, and it's just like, oh, I can't do anything. My brain was just shutting down. It's just like, dude, you got to move, and it's just like, oh, fuck, I do have to move. And I don't know, just it's that you got to remember to move, my sweets. Not trying to be too philosophical here this morning, but that's absolutely the lesson of today is you got to make sure you move. John also gave me some real talk that was very very valuable, but also realized that I have created in a very fucking strange. Oh God, I'm making my own terrarium. That's what I've been doing with my basement, and that's a good thing and a very bad thing. Um, because one, yeah, I feel very, very safe, very happy in my basement. However, I've attuned my body to be comfortable and happy down here underground alone, like a cave dweller, and that's not good. Uh, I did in fact move my Quara all over the TTS board yesterday. Oh, I like that. I would like to hear about that. I would like to hear about you moving all them Quara around. Moving all them Quara around. The Quara moving. Uh, but yeah, so, one, John gave me some real talk. Two, I need to pick something and move forward. Three, I would love for you guys to pick what that thing is that we stick with until it's fucking done. Um, and four, my recommendation and suggestion is perhaps a Necromunda gang. Uh, because that is kind of what I'm vibing on really hard right now, and I've been thinking about really hard right now, and that is the gang, or the game that I think that we are probably going to play next in as far as Carstic Domain goes. I do know that they have a game coming up. I think sometime this month, if not next month, uh, which would be a good thing to try and get ready for. Which, along those lines, the gang that we are going with is Goliaths, House of Chains, baby. And here at the Grimdark Distillery, we don't like to do things like anyone else does them. So we're going to make sure that this is a Goliath gang unlike any you've ever thought of or seen. Um, and I've got a very firm idea about certain characters already, but I definitely kind of wanted to, you know, workshop some things. That's not what I expected. The Goliaths, they are not. Who boy, I'll tell you what. I don't think anybody. I'm really glad no one was like, please just make this, make this. But Orlocks, that was, if you were wondering, hey, what do I want to make less than anything else? It's Orlocks. And I guess it's probably also because like every one of the gangs that was like kind of on the cutting board, I really wanted to do a not a gender swap, but a, a take on them that's typical RedWetSkeleton, where it's just like, wow, I never expected that. It goes just as, if not exponentially harder, but with the focus of characters being on something not as hyper masculine or in those lines. Um, and given that the Goliaths are a gang of almost entirely dudes, um, you'll see how I'm excited to show you guys what I have in mind. Um, Also, they got good hair. Mohawks, Deathhawks abound, my sweets. So I'm very excited about that. Uh, and I'm really excited about the leader. That is definitely an homage. So I'm just really excited. I'm really excited about this gang. Initially, in so with, I think one of the big things that's like, oh yeah, nope, that doesn't track. That's not who I would have expected. But then as soon as you read this, you're like, oh nope, yep, that's right in line. Big part of Necromunda is each gang kind of has its own own mechanic that only that gang has access to, that really kind of dials in their vibe. With the Goliaths, it is gene smithing, flesh crafting. So it's betas, babies. We got the beta boys, Betta, like as in a Siamese fighting fish. Let's get nasty with them. I'm excited. Yeah, the one that I didn't want to do was Orlocks. But I cannot stress enough. It was just like, man, I don't want to do Orlocks because one, I hate the models. Two, I don't like Orlocks. Three, out of all the ones that I was like, man, that one will make my fucking skin crawl. They're 100%. The whole idea was I wanted to make a Necromunda gang that is not like what you would typically think when you think of them, and then you're like, oh my god, I hate that. That's horrifying. So with the Goliaths, of course, the leader is going to be female. Just the scariest Dami Mama you've ever seen. And with the Escher gang, that I eventually I will do it, but I need to not plan all that. That's the thing. And I forcing myself to try and keep as many projects for each project so I can do them forever and never run out. While that does enable me to work on more things at one time, that's a very dumb way to go about doing things in the situation that I am currently in. I need to pick one thing that I want to do, that I actually want to do, and finish it. And it needs to be something that I have a reason to do right now, and that's, I guess, why I'm picking Necromunda. There's a game coming up. I want to play it. My boyfriend Shankly really, really, really loves Necromunda. I really enjoyed playing it, even though my leader just got shit fucked off the board like in one go. And that's also kind of like why I want to why I wanted to do my list building on here, just because it's like, hey, keep me honest. And two, that way I can be like, yeah, I'm not a power gamer. Because I don't know, I think like most people, that when it comes to, yep, I've got to put my creativity on par with math now. You don't want to take things that are going to make you have a bad time and not have fun, but you don't want to take things that are very fun and they're going to cause chaos only. Like it's about finding a balance. So with the Forge Tyrant, there's pretty much like one way. Like when you look up like online, hey, how do you build a Forge Tyrant? Everyone's pretty much like, oh yeah, make him a Natborn. Which I guess I can discuss that with if you're not familiar with gene smithing, Possum, or listeners. But with gene smithing, Goliaths. Good day, mate. Good day there, Ross. Good on ya. Oh, it's a little Sheila from down under. Eh? Well, she's not down under. It's north of me, actually. Rose. We watched Finding Nemo recently, and when he said, mate, good day, mate, it just made me think of Bruce, which is one of my favorite characters. And I don't think I've ever eaten a fish. Oh, good on ya! You're an inspiration. Yeah, man, I love that movie. I love Finding Nemo. It's so good. We watched that a lot in my house. That was one of my little sister's favorites. So, anywho, we're making our list and we're checking it twice. Starting with the dummiest mommy of all. So, one of the main fish are friends. Fish are friends, not food. And did you bring your friend? I seem to have misplaced my friend. Yeah, I could quote a good chunk of that movie. He touched the butt. Okay, I'm not going to just quote Finding Nemo all day. We have a list to write, and I have spent a very, 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 very long time because the leader is the most important part. It's kind of like the character that defines, I think, the overall vibe of the gang, because everyone else's outlook and everything is kind of directed by this. Like, yeah, your leader defines your gang for the most part. You can definitely have overall vibes, but it's just like the leader's the face, if that makes sense. Which, oh boy, I just realized I am on top chat, not live chat, but here we go. Oh, I need to write my list still too. Hell yeah. So yeah, see, it's I want to like set the tone of like, I'm not going for like a real ass blasting, just like, hey, I'm here to like make my friends have sad time. But I do want to have a fun list to play myself. I don't want to get my ass smashed into paste every single game, but I don't want to smash someone's ass into paste every single game. So, anyway, Goliaths. Their big thing is gene smithing. Let's make a beta. Let's do it right. We'll figure it out. It's not hard to play God, I'm sure. I do it all the time. Goliath subtypes. So there are 3 different types of Goliaths. Goliaths are big old beefy monsters. Originally they were a slave class. So actually I'll just read this to you guys so you can understand fully. Goliaths are unique among the denizens of Necromunda, as they were grown for a purpose rather than having evolved through chance, that purpose being to work the factories of the hive world. Engineered to be hardy and resilient, as well as strong and stoic, they excel in their task through the legacy of their creation continues to shape them. Even when the clan house broke away from its creators and earned its freedom, it took with it the heritage of genetic manipulation. The Goliath's gene-smithed past means there remains substantial genetic variation within each clan, enclave, and gang, each drawing their lineage from a different biolab or alpha. Some represent the best of their kind, toughest of the tough, and are blessed with the most valuable genetic gifts, while others carry biological missteps, their strength and toughness won at a price to their minds or their longevity. Then there are those that are barely true Goliaths at all, their bodies carrying the weakest of the clan's genetics, even though their loyalty to the Overtyrant remains undiminished. So, that is gene smithing. There are 3 different types. 3 different types of... Sorry, also Grebo and Grevelin are sweetly singing my sweets. And they're going to be singing that song for almost 2 days. I'll show you what they're printing. Oh, my leg has been fucking up. It's happening. Printing a whole lot of these. We're we're going to need a whole lot of these babies. Whole lot of them. Lots of necromunda terrain. And then I'm done. Then I'm done building boards, okay? Then I just got to do the things. It's time to get shit done. We're writing the list. We're checking them twice. So, gene smithing. There's 3 types of... Hell yeah. There are 3 types of Goliaths. There are the... So, before this book came out, Goliaths were just like, yep, there's just Goliaths. And it was like, they all look kind of like this, and that's all the same kind. That's Goliath. That's a Goliath. That, and you don't have to use gene smithing. Like, pretty much playing without gene smithing is essentially choosing to use Vatborn. Vatborn fighters make up the vast majority of Goliath gangs and have all the usual gifts and drawbacks of their kind. They are, however, the most mutable of their clan and have available to them a wide variety of options for genetic tampering. Many have been grown for particular environments or purposes. Vatborn fighters have the baseline Goliath special rule. Yeah, even without the genetic manipulation common within the clans, a Goliath is an impressive specimen. Vatborn fighters represent the baseline of the Goliath genetic line and have no specific benefits or drawbacks. Other than Vatborn, we can choose to go with Natborn. Natborn are longer lived and more evolved than their genetic cousins from the Vat, though the promise of a longer life and their superior intelligence makes them less reckless with their existence. They enjoy some of the most potent genetic gifts of all Goliaths, representing as they do a development of the clan's genetic heritage from its inception as a slave race. Natborn fighters have the clever but cautious and physical perfection special rules. When I was explaining this to Kelly last night, because I wanted to get her opinion on what is the better option for my main for the leader, given what the plan is concept wise, the way that I summarized Natborn fighters was fuck, what is his name? You guys are gonna hate me. Rutherford, Blade Runner, like tears in the rain. Oh. What's his name? What is the name? You have beautiful eyes. He was the dude in Observer, the game Observer. Why do I keep thinking Rudyard Kipling? That's not it. That's not it at all. But it's his German name. What is his name? He passed away a couple years ago. Fuck. I'm gonna be so upset with myself as soon as I see him. Rutger Hauer. Okay. Yep. Roy Beatty. So, when I personally think of, like, oh hey, what does a Natborn Goliath look like? I think of Roy from Blade Runner. Roy Batty. Specifically, the end. Like the end when he's like running around shirtless like a crazy just monster. Yeah. Boop, 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 boop. Roy Batty. It's the end when he's holding the dove. Yeah. Just Rutger Hauer. There you go. Yeah, I was just a smidge too slow, lol. Yeah, so that's when I was explaining to Kelly, like, when I imagine, like, the Goliaths, like, Vatborn are just, like, the regular beefcakes that are just, like, all muscle, all brawn, not smart. They are made to do manual labor and not die in a factory. Tough as shit, strong as shit, short-lived, made to be like an ox, a human-shaped ox, kind of. A human-esque shaped ox that does labor and then dies. Natborn are a gradual evolution of, like, gene fuckery. Like, yep, shouldn't have done that. Who would have guessed it? Me, I did. Millennia before. Don't. No. So yeah, the Natborn are like, yeah, after long enough, they've become like just, yep, what if we just had all the things that made Goliath better and none of like the defects? So it's just, you end up with something very much like, in my head at least, Roy Batty or Roy Batty from Blade Runner. Just this better than human in every way monster that knows that it dies quicker than everyone else. So at some point, it's going to have like a, I have to fix this. Like, and I love that. I love Blade Runner. Blade Runner is one of my favorite stories. And when I say Blade Runner, I mean Ridley Scott's Blade Runner. I am one of those pieces of shit that prefer it to do Android Stream of Electric Sheep. That and Fight Club are like the only two things that I think I've ever been like, yeah, I like the movie better than the book. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Yee. But yeah, so Natborn, Roy. Then we have Unborn. So Unborn fighters. As outsiders, Unborn fighters bring a variety of benefits from other parts of Necromunda to House Goliath. They are also among the hardiest of the clan, often having survived great pain and peril to be counted as one of the clan house. Unborn fighters have the outsider special rule. Outsider, a life before joining the clan house has given the unborn a wider experience of Necromunda and its societies than most Goliaths ever see. So this is essentially someone that is not born Goliath, but that is so fucking hard that the House of Chains is just like, you are one of us. They are the unborn. Yeah, one of the quotes over on the side from Krook, Sons of Steel, House Goliath is, strength is king in House Goliath. The strongest rule until someone stronger comes along. You get the odd Smartan who gets to rule, but if they ain't strong, they won't rule for long. I feel like Unborn is that weird thing that guy with silver hair turned into in Bloody Roar. I'm gonna need to see what that is. Unborn. Bloody Roar. Silver hair. Yeah. That's I feel it. So I'm guessing that's Axiom Zion. Yeah. Unborn. I could see that being something called like Unborn. Yeah. That's rad. Shit. But yeah, no, that's definitely, I think, the most interesting. And this is where it really comes down to, hey, do we want to start being narrative? I've not read Electric Sheep, but isn't that an unfair comparison because the book goes on to Wandering Messiah shit? Unlike Fight Club where the plot... Yeah, it is a very... when I say it's like, yeah, I prefer the movie, it's an extremely, like... It's not even like... They're not even, like... It's kind of like saying I prefer the book of I Am Legend. I don't like the movie I Am Legend because I love the book I Am Legend, and they are very much. It's even further of that. Like literally, the name is the only thing they have in common, pretty much, and a dog. There's a dog. He's alone, and the name. Other than that, fuck all about that movie really transferred, and you don't understand why it's one of the best horror stories ever written. I'll die on that hill. Richard Matheson is one of the gods of horror and can outright Stephen King any day of the week, and I'll die on that hill too. And that's someone that's opinion on horror is pretty highly regarded. Anywho, that was a tangent. But yeah, no, it's not really a fair comparison at all. And it also detracts from how much, like, as a, a book guy, that is an unfair statement. Because it's not even they're not even the same fucking story. They're not the same story. It's same concepts, but it's completely, if I had someone read a book, read Electric Sheep, and then had someone watch the movie, no, they did not watch the same. They don't know the same. That's two, you're right. That is two utterly, completely different stories that they were told, that have similar names and characters in them, but they are not going to be able to talk to each other about either of those things. So yeah, you're right. Fight Club. Yeah, Fight Club's pretty much damn spot on, like the book. Yeah, mainly ripping concepts instead of adapting. Exactly. So, but yeah, long story short with what I was getting with that. The way that this works is when we add characters to our list, we have to do it at list concept because, you can only really kind of be gene sculpted once, I suppose. So yeah, it is no cost to make them VAT-born. VAT-born is just what the baseline is. Nat-born costs 20 credits and unborn is 10. Now, what that does is once we pick what subtype they are, we have upgrades and downgrades that we can do to each of our fighters, based on what subtype they are and depending on the type of fighter. So fighters can only be Genesmith when they are added to the gang. Under unusual circumstances, the arbitrator might allow a fighter to be Genesmith during campaign downtime. I don't know if I'm going to be the arbitrator or if it'll be a third party per game. But Steve and I were talking about setting up a long-term running Carstic campaign. And he was like, yeah, maybe that could be what you run for, Carstic. And she's like, man, I'm trying to figure out what I'm wanting to pick. Because I got too many things. But I do really want to play Necromunda. And I have all kinds of ideas. And I have put a lot of thought into that kind of stuff already anyway. I have people to play with, so I don't have to make all of it. I can just... That actually sounds really fucking cool. Anywho, knock on wood. Hey, this actually is wood. Typically when I say that, I don't get to... This is wood. Anywho, to use these rules, fighters must choose a subtype: Natborn, Vatborn, Unborn, when they are added to the gang. Vatborn being the default subtype. The cost of their subtype is added to the fighter's credits cost, as detailed in the House Goliath list. Other upgrades are optional and can be added to the fighters using the following guidelines. Fighters can only be Genesmith when they're added to the gang. So the only time I could ever consider, like, oh yeah, other than like at gang creation, is like, oh yeah, they almost died and they're being rebuilt by a doc. The fighter can only select, or when they're like, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. And that would be like if they were, maybe, actually no, how the hell would they get in, how would I end up with a character that was not already what they would be now? It would only be like if I went with, I guess, an unborn and didn't give... That doesn't make very much sense to me. So, okay, anyway. The fighter can only select gene-smithing upgrades from those available to their subtype. What's under their tables? Fighters with the gang fighter, Juve, Prospect, or Ganger can have a maximum of 1 gene-smith upgrade. So, regular gang members, only 1. Fighters with leader or champion special rule may have a maximum of 2. So... when you look up, hey, what do you want your leader to be with Goliath genesmithing? There are pretty much, for the most part, there's one way that the internet tells you to make it. And that's like build a really scary, really scary Roy baby that has essentially, you go with Natborn and give them the Tyrant's Own. The Over-Tyrant's offspring are among the strongest of all Goliaths, and often walk the path of the Alpha, their gaze set upon one day claiming the title of Over-Tyrant for themselves. This fighter can improve any 2 of their characteristics by 1. Only a Forged Tyrant leader may take this Genesmith upgrade. It costs 20 credits, so it's expensive, but you just straight up get plus 1 to 2 of your credits. No downsides, other than costing 20 points. Bonkers. And then the next pick is Prime Specimen. This fighter is a perfect example of their kind and represents this ideal that all Goliaths aspire to. Fighter can improve 1 of their characteristics by 1. So for 10 credits. For 30 credits, you now have plus 1 to 3 different stats. And with that, Out the gate, you can start with a strength 4, toughness 5, 3 wounds, 4 attacks, monstrosity. Horrifying. Yeah. And then also because they have physical perfection, what that does, and I guess I can read the rules. So clever but cautious, I mentioned that earlier. Natborn, they alter their starting characteristics by increasing their intelligence by 2, increasing their willpower by 1, and decreasing their cool by 1. So they are smarter, more in control, but because of that, they also realize, like, I could die. Like, they are not as fearless as, like, the Vatborn that are just not as intelligent enough to understand. And while, when I said, those are the ways that you build that, those are pretty much the best picks. And given that I think it's just, yep, they're your leader, even in I'm trying not to be that guy. If you're going to have one character that you like, a vanity character that you put a bunch of shit on, that I'm going to like be, yep, that's cool. Your leader should be the one. It's the one that if they die, it ruins your story or it alters it like drastically. Like Game of Thrones season 1 drastic. So I think that it's fine to do that kind of thing. However, it doesn't really fit what I was wanting to go with. And the kind of overall concept. I definitely wanted to have a leader that is very Goliath, but not Goliath in the traditional sense. So I wanted them to 100% not be male. So female. 2, I wanted to lean exponentially more into the grit as opposed to the strength, because inner strength, I think, is far more impressive than outer, and that would be much more along the veins of toughness, wounds, etc. So the leader that I have come up with uses the unborn rules. So pretty much the way that works is, since that they had a life before joining the clan, they do not gain access to the muscle skill group, which is exclusively the Goliath skill group. But they can choose to have an additional primary skill when they are chosen, from agility, brawn, combat, cunning, ferocity, shooting, or savant. So, given that this is our tyrant, we already are primary in brawn, so we could choose agility, combat. Combat is secondary. Cunning, we don't have cunning at all. Ferocity, we're primary. Leadership, we're primary. Shooting or savant. Shooting, we're secondary. Savant, we don't have any at all. And I need to look at how leveling works and whether we truly would rather have something be a primary or if secondary is good. But I think we want our first skill to be Nerves of Steel. That seems like the choice that we want. That way we can get up and bash some skulls in. But before I get into all that, I'm not sure on the skill that we're choosing yet. I'm kind of leaning towards making shooting a primary skill and then going with Nerves of Steel out the gate. That way we can establish her as being a brick shit house, but also line her up for being able to like have easier access to shooting, because I want her to be well-rounded as opposed to just melee. Because as our Forge Tyrant, she has access to better stats than pretty much any other. She's our main character. The concept that I'm kind of going with, and I'm sure you might pick up on who it is an homage to, but is that of a pleasure girl or a slave that is found one day by, say, the former runner of said gang, pretty much utterly broken, and like assumed left for dead. That seeing that like fight for life, bring that with us too. And then sure enough, over time becomes part of the clan. Very almost like Furiosa-esque kind of thing. So I kind of wanted to go with the scar tissue. Great knots of scar tissue cover this fighter's body, inuring them to both pain and damage. Reduce the damage of all hits suffered by this fighter by 1 to a minimum of 1, which is fucking sick. And also extremely accurate for what I'm going for. And then from there, I'm really just debating between Survivor. This fighter has suffered untold hardships during their life, yet each time death has tried to claim them, they have fought their way back from the abyss. When making recovery tests for this fighter, they can re-roll one of their injury dice rolled for 10 credits. Or Doc's experiment. While this fighter was under the knife, the Doc decided to try an experimental procedure. Select 2 of the following characteristics: movement, strength, toughness, or wounds. Increase one characteristic by 1, decrease the other characteristic by 1. You cannot choose a characteristic to decrease. If doing so would lower it to 0. And I think I'm going with that one. And I'm going to either put that, I know strength, because I don't want strength to be, I like the idea of it being like, yep, normal strength. It's just tough as shit. Either A, putting it into wounds, so she would have 3 wounds, and now all damage counts as, 1 less, so like damage 2 becomes 1. That's pretty sick. I just want her to be a bad, undying beef stick. Or movement. That was the other thing. I didn't know if I wanted to go wounds or movement, but I'm thinking wounds because also I don't want her to outpace the rest of the gang, which is a issue that could happen if I end up doing that, because no one else in the entire gang will have. Oh, nope, prospects do. Okay. Prospects are cheap too. So yeah, my gang's gonna be pretty fucked up. Okay, so that's, I think, yeah, I don't know. Do you guys have an opinion between movement versus wounds? And if not, no worries. But I would think wounds are something. I would think wounds and then movement. And I don't think that that's too broken. Essentially, she's now strength 3, toughness 4, wounds 3, as opposed to strength 4, toughness 5, wounds 3. Her thing is just not dying. And I think that feels more Goliath. Wounds. Yeah, I think that's it. I feel like it also leans more into the survivor. Like, I want her to be accepted as Goliath from rising from nothing, like as a slave like them. I guess I want it to be like, hey, seeing the difference between like they were made for one thing. This was, is treated like it is for one thing, but we're not restricted to that. We can become other things than what we're made for. And I feel like the House of Chains, that's something that would very much echo within them. And I do think that that is something that would cross the boundaries of gender and sex within the House of Chains. And that is a big thing that I kind of want to focus on because it just seems utterly masculine how it's ran. And while, that is, it can stay that way, I think showing other genders and sexualities within that kind of concept also is what I really kind of want to lean into with this, at least some extent. So, but yeah, I'm really excited. I think I've got my first character. Still kind of working on a name. I have one that keeps popping in my head, but I'm just like, that's too on the nose, and I'm not going to go with it. So, feels more Goliath. No, thank you. That's what I'm thinking. And I'm thinking we're going to go with a bolt gun, a power axe, and furnace plates. I want her to be scary, and I want her to be able to do some nasty shit. I need to look into. And I finished my coffee. True, the main gang ranges are a sausage fest. Besides Asher, of course. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I don't like how either or they make things. I don't like that at all. it's very. I just have opinions on it that it's not. I don't care for that, and they do it a lot. And that's kind of why I want to make sure that every time, if you're like, oh, hey, RedWetSkeleton's making a Goliath gang, well, you know, there's gonna be a lot less sausage in that fest than there used to be. And Escher, you know, there's gonna be a lot of femboys, and not sexy women. The leader for my Escher gang was going to be one of the males that pretty much looks a lot more like a Deluxe Spiker. Like they're not doing good. They're not good at all. And they're a psyker. they're an awful little monster. And pretty much that was my Outlaws gang. But I really want to do a straight house gang first. Huh, straight house gang. Irony. Not heroin chic. Exactly. So and yeah, the Escher gang was 100% going to be Outlaws. It's really hard not to just immediately be like, yeah, we're going straight up affiliated with the narco lords, like right out the gang. I think that's probably what I'm gonna do, but you know, maybe not. We'll see. I wanted to pop over here right quick. Check. Okay. I heard some silly noises coming from them. These silly goofballs over here, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you two. Always making goofy noises. Beep, boop, 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 boop. Little Grebo, little Grebo. Yep. Okay, so. Now I need to either A, make the cards, or B, start making... Oh, no, that's what I was getting the other book. That's what I was doing. I was like, what the hell did I get up and come over here for? And it was so I could find the book that actually has the skills. Because I need to look at how advancements kind of go. Excuse me. Fighting some experience. Sorry about that. Okay. Two of the results of test. They're still getting for all rules purposes. Maximum characteristics. Cannot go above 2. 3. Movement, strength, toughness cannot be improved more than 2. Okay, so the basic profile for the fighter's current type. Wounds and attacks cannot be improved by more than 1. Okay. Okay. Or if the skill is primary, secondary, or neither. Choosing a skill is a simple matter of picking a skill from the stats available that is desired for the fighter. To determine a random skill, personalized. Okay, so skills. So it has to do with XP. And how much XP? Where does that go? Oh, here it is. Okay. Primary sets. So at 9 XP, credits increase. Okay. I get you. That's how much it increases that. Gangers. This is leader's table. It costs 9 XP to choose a skill from the primary skill set. Fighter gains a random skill from any skill set. Fighter gains a random skill. Okay, yeah, that is a big difference. We want to have primary in whatever the hell we actually want to be able to pick. So yeah, being able to pick is way more awesome. But rolling is not that bad if it's a good table. So let me make sure I read that correctly. Yeah, so more like this guy. That's kind of what the Escher leader I was thinking of looked like. Matt. It was Matt. I need to get in touch with. I need to find the wizard battle or wizard fight rules because they're talking about making rules for making psychic battles more entertaining. And I was like, oh fuck, dude, it's already done. It's called a wizard fight. My boy Brad, who is like buddies with the Wires forever, came up with it. It's the sickest shit I've ever seen. It's hey, do you want your game to become the most chaotic, just wild ride you've ever been on? Welcome to Wizard Fight, baby. It's just wildfires all over the board. Love it. Just a madhouse. Okay. Boop, boop, boop. Gaining experience. So, yeah. Choose a skill from the fighter's primary skill sets. The fighter gains a random skill from one of the secondary skill sets. Yeah, that's... Man, okay. So, really it just comes down to, let me take a peep at these skills. Are they in here or are they in the other one? Nope, they're in here. So we already, sorry guys if this is terrible. By going unborn, we can choose agility, which we don't have at all to become a primary. Shooting is secondary, and that's, so shooting I know has a lot of good stuff in it, and we kind of also want to fuck around with that. Fast shot. Treats the shoot action as simple rather than basic. That's awesome. As long as that do not attack with a weapon that has the unwieldy trait. Note that even if a skill or warrior item allows the fighter to ignore one aspect of the unwieldy trait, they retain that trait. So if we, say, gave them a heavy bolter with a suspensor eventually, they could not use that, which sucks. Our grenade launcher's unwieldy. Because if they are not, then that is scary. I don't think they are. Grenade launchers? Nope. It's just heavy weapons. Okay, that's fun. Gunfighter, if this fighter uses twin guns, not ever going to use that, so that could be bad to have to roll on. If the fighter is standing and active, they can make the following action. Run and gun double. That's good. If the fighter's not active by holster target priority. Honestly, all of these are not bad. If I had to roll, the only thing is twin guns blazing. Twin gaze blazing. 2 weapons with the sidearm trade. Yeah, that's the only one that would suck to have to roll on. But I've already got primaries in brawn, ferocity, leadership. I will no longer have muscle. So either make shooting to where I could pick savant, cunning, or agility. I've not ever looked at agility. Catfall. That's not good. I assume that agility is going to be not anything I want because this... Well, hold on. Ah, that's sick. Okay, maybe this is the one. Okay, maybe I do, because these are pretty sick. But I feel like that's a trap. Cunning. Backstab, don't want that. Infiltrate. If this fighter should be set up at the start of a battle, they may instead be placed to one side. Then immediately before the start of the first round, their controlling player may set them up anywhere on the battlefield that is not visible to any enemy fighters. That's sick as hell. The fighters with this skill take turns. I like that a lot. Cunning's good. We don't have access to cunning normally. Hmm. That's a scary skill to start with. Oh boy. Jesus. Overseer. I forget how broken Overseer is as a rule. I assume that it's like banned in most things. Roz, do you know if Overseer is like any limitation on that in the upcoming Necro game, like in Indy, I think? Fixer in the receiver ward stop or the post battle sequence as long as the fire's not captured. That's good. The Savant Munitioner is also really good. I feel like that's someone we're going to want to have around. HUD's game, he doesn't have a packet. Gotcha. Overseer is just such a... I know that Overseer is such a known, broken kind of thing just because, yeah. Pick a friendly fighter within 6 inches. That fighter can immediately make 2 actions as though it were their turn to activate, even if they are not ready. If they are ready, these actions do not remove the ready marker. Being able to spam like double with one model is just pretty broken, and can lead to some really not fun things. So it's just like I know that a lot of times it's like nerfed, but man, I am having a hard time picking which one we want to go with. When this fighter is hit by range attack, make a cool check for them. If it's passed, then it should not to be pinned. Yeah, a cool check for our Tyrant is going to be on a 5. Right? No, it's a 4. Yeah. Damn. Yeah. Yeah, that's sick. And those are done. Yeah, okay, shit. Yeah, we're going with Nerves of Steel. A hundo as her skill. I'm just gonna write that on here. Nerves of Steel. I'm just trying to figure out which new skill set I want to have as a primary to be able to choose from. There's a lot of things in. If this fighter makes 2 move simple actions when activated during a round, they can use the second to sprint. This lets them move at double their movement for the second move action. That would be awesome to be able to sprint as a Goliath. I'm really kind of worried about the reduced movement of Goliaths, having watched Steve shamble through Mordheim. That is worrisome to me. I don't want to be outpaced by everyone. However, I feel like there's probably other ways to get around that. Backstabbing weapons. I don't think cunning is what we're wanting. Overwatch is fucking sick too. Cunning, agility. I want to go with Savant. I think I want to go with Savant. I think it fits more. Shooting is, I think, what typically people are like, oh yeah, that's the power gamer move. Savant, I think, fits the most narratively with this character in my head. Also keep in mind, the flyer fail not made. Seemed like the event takes place on Prometheum. Okay. Gotcha. All right. Well, then I won't factor that into this game. This will just be for the car sticks. Like, obviously I'll use them the same, but as far as my planning, and if they're not like, optimized by whatever means, that's fine. I don't want them to be. I don't want them to be optimized, hyper optimized. So now that I kind of understand what the hell I'm doing though, Savant primary. So yeah, we've got our forge timer done. That's a big one. Groovy. All right. So movement is 4. Weapon skill is 3 plus. Ballistic skill is 3 plus. Strength is 3. Toughness is 4. Wounds is 3. Initiative is 3. Plus. Attacks is 3. Leadership is 5. She's a monster. Cool is 4. It's finally break time. Oh man, it is. I gotta pee. Sorry, I am. Willpower is 8, right? Yeah. Intelligent is 7. Okay, weapon skills. We're gonna go Nerves of Steel. Nerves of Steel. Furnace plates. She's got a bolt gun. Power axe. I think she needs a sidearm as well. We'll have to look at that. Lou. It's finally break time, Lou. Lol. Yeah, Ross. He's going to the loo. I'm going to go to the loo. I'll be right back in it. I've told you guys about the guy in the bathroom at King's Crossing that scares people. He's paid to scare people. I want that job. I need to move to London, and I need to work in the King's Crossing bathroom and be the man who scares people. That's the job I want. But yeah, his job is to be in the bathroom. He's not supposed to do it like this, I'm almost certain, but man, I love that he does. Essentially, when you walk in, there's a wall here that you don't know that he could be standing right here. And as soon as you walk in, he goes, "Hello, sir." And it scares every single person that comes in. And I watched it, smiling, loved it. Yo, turning just in time for the London accent again. How are you doing, old chap? Oh, off beats build. Doing good, doing good. How is my accent? Is it good? It's, "Oh, hello, sir." And I mean, when I say, like, yeah, I'm gonna, "Hello, sir." That's how loud he says it when you walk in the bathroom, like right behind you. Like you walk in, he's right there. "Hello, sir." And you're, shit. But yeah, so like pretty much the whole time I'm standing at like the urinals now, because like I know what's up, and I'm just like, get him. Scare that guy now. This is great. I get it. I get your game. On that note, I'm going to go pee. Played by Matt Berry. By Matt Berry. Matt Berry? I'm trying to think of, man, I don't know how to explain what this guy looked like. I'm not going to try to. He's just a guy. Just a guy in an outfit, in a suit kind of thing. He looked like he was supposed to be there, but in hindsight, maybe he wasn't. I like to think that he was, but maybe it's because I'm afraid of what if he wasn't. Anywho, I'll be right back. And we're back. Beep boop boop boop. So Matt Berry. I did look up Matt Berry. It was not Matt Berry. So the guy that it looked like was actually Jeffrey the Butler, which would be Joseph Marcel. So imagine this guy hiding around the corner to scare you when you go into the bathroom by yelling, "Hello, sir!" Yeah, it was great. Loved it. 10 out of 10. Would love for that man to keep scaring people in the bathroom as a job. So I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, in Necromunda, is there a reason to have a pistol and a close combat weapon like there is in like 90% of Games Workshop's other games? I'm pretty sure there is, but I'm pretty sure I also want a pistol. Can use up to 2 weapons with the melee or sidearm trait, but only if it also has one if it also has the unwieldy trait. Currently, the fighter may make unarmed attacks. Dual weapons with melee or sidearm trait +1 charging. Okay. Fighter attacking with more than one weapon, the attack dice must be split as evenly as possible between the 2 weapons, ideally allocating an equal number of attack dice to each weapon. Boop, 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 boop. Do you shoot? That's nuts. There's no way that's how that. I'm assuming it's just an attack using the profile, which seems also kind of crazy. I'm assuming it's just an extra attack, but I feel like I don't understand that at all. Any thoughts on that, guys? A misunderstanding? No idea. I've not played any yet. Gotcha. The man clearly loves his work. Yeah, clearly loves his work. Yeah, it's great. I love it. Okay, so I'm thinking close combat. Boop, 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 boop. Using a weapon with the melee or sidearm traits. Yeah. Weapon with the sidearm trait can only have 1 attack dice allocated to it. Any remaining traits, if a fighter has no other weapon with the melee trait, any remaining attacks must be armed attacks. Fighter attacks with a weapon with the sidearm. Close combat. Accuracy modifiers do not apply. This is only used when making ranged attacks. What? Okay. So they don't get +1. Yeah, that makes sense. But do they use... It's just an attack, right? What? Is it just a point-blank shot? Because that seems crazy. Ain't got no plans to play no Munda. Ain't no plans to play no Munda Possum? Damn. I get it. I get it, though. I get it. I didn't until everyone was like, we need to play it, and then I did play it. And also, I mean, I do enjoy it. I've got so many books. I wanted to play it. So yeah, that's fun. A lot of stuff we can do with this. Shit. Okay, dual weapons equal to the fighter's attack plus the following modifiers. Dual weapons with melee or sidearm trait +1. If the fighter's attacking with more than one weapon, the attack must be split as evenly as possible between the 2 weapons. Okay, so that's not good. The number of attack dice rolled is equal to the fighter's attack characteristics plus the following modifiers. So we could actually, I think, fuck ourselves over with that. More GW slop? Pshaw. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't mean to. I mean, we've got a whole lot of other games that aren't GW. This one's just it's one on the list of I know I'm going to be playing it, and I've wanted to play it. I've got so much stuff for it, and I actually really want to make them the characters and stuff. I think that's something that could be really fun right now. But yeah, so the controlling player declares which weapons fighter will use. Fighter can use up to 2 weapons with the melee or sidearm trait, but only one if it also has the unwieldy trait. The number of attack dice rolled is equal to the fighter's characteristics plus the following modifiers. +1 for charging, +1 if dual weapons with melee or sidearm trait. So on the charge, we would have 3, 4, 5. However, if the fighter is attacking with more than one weapon, the attack dice must be split as evenly as possible. So 5 divided by 2 would be 2. Which means, yeah, if fighter is attacking with more than one weapon, the attack dice must be split as evenly as possible between the two weapons. So 2 and 3, ideally allocating an equal number of attacks to each weapon. Where this is not possible, for instance, if the fighter has an odd number of attacks to make, the controlling player may choose which weapon is allocated the extra dice. Okay, so yeah, we would go to 2 and 3. A weapon with the sidearm trait can only have one attack dice allocated to it. Any remaining attacks must be allocated to a weapon with the melee trait. If a fighter has no other weapons with the melee trait, any remaining attacks must be unarmed, as described above. So does that mean that only one would be on the pistol and all 4 others would be on the axe? Or 3 would be on the axe, 1 is on the pistol, and 1 is thrown away? That's the chism in me is not understanding which one we would go with. So 4 and 1. See, that's 4 and 1 is what would make sense, but rules as written, I could see it being not for, like, depending on when you do the split. But 4 and 1 makes sense to me, as opposed to just 4. Is it worth 5 creds to get a shot? Maybe. Could be. So let me look up what sidearm does. That is, it seems like it's going to be a very key bit of information. Weapons with this trait can be used to make ranged attacks and can also be used in close combat to make a single attack. Note their accuracy bonus only applies when making a ranged attack, not when used to make a close combat attack. So I'm guessing that, yeah, you straight up just strength, AP, and then damage. So yeah. And I would assume you use weapon skill still? Yeah. Can be used to make in close combat to make a single attack in close combat. You're using a weapon skill. Yeah, you'd use weapon skill. So that makes sense to me. All the rest go to the melee weapon. That's what I'm thinking. So yeah, I'd say it is worth 5 creds for an extra little bam. Maybe. But maybe not. Goliath pattern combi pistol. Jesus, that's scary as hell. Reclaimed auto pistols are scary too. Stub gun with dum-dum rounds. That's nasty. I'm thinking we should just go with the stub gun. All the rest go to the melee weapon. 5 points for a shot at strength 3 versus strength 4. I don't think or knife. Hey, what about a knife? A second knife. That makes the most sense. Nope, because then we have to split them evenly. We don't want a knife. I'm not trying to power game it here. I'm just thinking if we take a knife, which is the first one's free, right? The first knife's free. Fighting knife. There's no restrictions to find weapons. Nope, I guess not. A knife is not free. I don't know where the fuck I got that from. Maybe I'm thinking of More Time. Or any of the other Necromunda games. Or any of the other Games Workshop games. So yeah, I'm thinking, let's just say bolter and the axe. I'm not going to go with the pistol. We got furnace plates. That's good. So bolt gun. And then we'll get this show on the road. I'm sorry, my sweets. Short is 12. 24 plus 1. plus 1. Nothing. Strength is 4. AP is minus 1. Damage is 2. Ammo is 6 plus. Rapid fire. 1. And then a power axe. Is dash and E. Dash dash. Strength plus 2. So we were hitting at a 5. Strength plus 2. AP minus 2. Damage 1. Ammo dash. Traits. Disarm, melee, power. Disarm. Melee. Power. Alrighty. Skills. We have still furnace plates. Credits. We are looking at forge tyrants 135 plus 10. Yeah, 10 to make them unborn, so 145 plus 5 for Doc's experiment, so 150. Yeah, 135, 145, 150, 160 for scar tissue. So 160 plus. I'm just gonna write that down there. 160 plus. Yeah, so 145, 135. Unborn. 10. Doc's experiments 10, 10, 35, 45, 55, 60, 160, plus 55, plus 35, plus 4. That would be 40. So 255. Yep. It's expensive, but she's the queen, princess. Alrighty. I know I'd have to write leader and whatnot on there, but 255. That's a lot of points. But hey, we got one of our characters finally done, and it's the most important one. That's going to take the longest time. So, and also, I'm going to rip that page out. I'm just going to start using the other side, because I'm not going to be able to. Boop, 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 boop. Put that away. This, we'll move down here. So we went with Savant on the other one, which is good. So the next two are our champions. We've got a Forge Boss, and we're going to have a Stimmer. I want those two. One of each. So our Forge Boss. 924. I'm just trying to make sure I got the time. I'm going to check my water situation over here. My mouth is so dry from talking. Yep. You know what I mean? Okay. Forge Boss. Yeah. M. Weapon skill. Strength, toughness, wounds, initiative, attacks. Okay. Stimmer. So, a good Forge boss knows how to walk the line between being a second in command and being the heir to the throne. Forge tyrants choose their Forge bosses from those fighters who will challenge their dominance rather than grovel at their feet, as a Goliath is nothing if they cannot test their muscles and prove their physical superiority. It is the ambition of the Forge boss, therefore, to replace the Forge tyrant, and everything they do works towards this goal, constantly testing the strength of the leader until such time as they sense weakness, allowing them to assume their rightful place at the top. So, between our Forge boss and our Stimmer, I'll read the description of that. When a Gengar rises up through the ranks and gets a taste for chems and violence, they sometimes eschew the path to leadership, instead focusing all their efforts on the mastery of violence in its most brutal forms. This is the Stimmer, a combat stem-driven gang champion who has taken mastery of close combat to the extreme, and is happiest when running screaming at the enemy, guns blazing, or reducing fools to bloody hunks of meat up close and personal. Part of me wants to just have two Stimmers. But the other part of me also is thinking from a narrative standpoint, we do need a Forge boss. Those are our two champions. I don't think there's anything that keeps us from taking two Stimmers. The main difference between them being activations. The Forge boss is a champion, gang hierarchy champion. They both are. The Forge boss has group activation, so when a fighter with this special rule is activated, their controlling player may choose to activate a number of additional ready-friendly players, Goliath fighters equal to the number chosen in brackets within 3 inches of this fighter as part of a group activation. Yeah. And they start with one skill from their primary skill sets. This skill does not cost any XP, does not increase the fighter's credits value. So, same. Same as, our other leader. When recruited, a Goliath Simmer may choose one skill. Same thing with the big difference is instead of group activation and access to, damn near everything almost everything that, what do you not have access to over here? Combat shotgun, combat shotgun, yeah, that's the same. Spacing, I guess, maybe? Nope, what's different there? Shotgun with Inferno ammo and Executioner ammo. That sounds scary. That sounds very scary. I have to look at what that is, because only our tyrant can get it. So, anywho, sorry guys, this is terribly uninteresting. I'm just trying to show this is like we have to do this to do all the other things, and I really want to make sure that I show how I did this for my Necro Gang, since it's probably going to be a big part of Karstic Domain's ongoing games, if I am the one running the campaign. Boop, 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 boop. And also sets the tone for hey, not going to try to cheese things or make them too OP. Which that's one of the things I know pretty much everyone's like, yep, grenade launchers, bolt guns. I like grenade launchers, but I think I don't want to just grenade launcher people until they don't want to play with me. That's not I think I'll have two max, which is you good. This is good practice because I got to make one. I'm just working, enjoying the show. Okay, cool. Just make sure everyone's cool. That's the thing. I need to pick something, and I do really want to do this. I've already got a couple ideas of what I want certain models to look like. I'm just trying to figure out the overall. I got to do the math. This part has to come first in order, and that's why it's always stressful for me making lists. I fucking hate making lists. I just wish I could make whatever I want to play, but I'm just such a slave to being I have to make sure it's WYSIWYG. It has to, that, and also I enjoy knowing what I have to make for the character and not being like, man, that's not what she has, or that's not what I would actually have wanted. On what concept to pursue? Hell yeah. Well, I'm down to workshop that with you if you want. The Yeah, I think we do, narratively speaking, I think we do need a second in command, right? I think a good Forge boss knows how to walk the line. Forge tyrants choose their Forge bosses from those who will challenge their dominance rather than grovel at their feet. I think every leader needs a second in command, and I think literally we also kind of like, if the leader dies, like death of a leader. What the piss? I've been streaming for like a year, dog. Over a whole year. You know that it's me. Why don't you remember? Damn it. The new fighter is the fighter. The new leader is the fighter with the highest leadership characteristics selected from those fighters that have in order of priority the gang hierarchy special rule, the tools of the trade special rule. So let's say we got a Forge Tyrant, dies, Forge Boss, the leader with the highest leadership. 6, 8. 6 is definitely higher than 8 in this situation. Because 5 is highest. And yeah, so it's lowest. Whoever has the highest is in like lowest. Yeah, that's, which makes sense because yeah, Stimmer is yeah, they're just here to punch. So yeah, we're gonna want a Forge boss. And that also is gonna keep us from going too far into melee only town. And what do we want them? I think we want to go with, who would an unborn pick as the Stimmer? I'm pretty sure is going to be our Natborn. I'm pretty sure. Stimmer is all combat. So instead of, I don't think I ever finished that thought. Instead of group activating, the Stimmer has combat chem stash. Whenever this fighter is activated, it may choose to use combat chems. Until the end phase of this round, this fighter gains an additional plus D3 attacks. However, if the dice roll is a natural 1, the fighter instead suffers a bad reaction, and its attacks characteristic is reduced to 1 until the end phase of this round. I really like that. These are my kind of awful things. I like high risk, high reward. That's my kind of play. We're gonna do all kinds of fun stuff with that, and that's why I'm just like, do I just want 2? Because like she doesn't plan on dying. Why would she have a second in command? But I feel like that's probably, I probably am going to want more activations. Probably am going to want more activations. We're going to be running low on model numbers anyway. I think those are probably good. I think those are probably good. One of each. I think one of each will be good. That way I can also be like, hey, this is fun. And I'm thinking probably a grenade launcher on the Forge boss. I know a heavy. We want to go heavy if not grenade launcher. Let me see. Grebo and Greeblin doing their thing. And Theo's there too. He's sleepy. Okay. So, now that I've walked it off, Either converting some Rotmeyercrete to Ash Nomads, running Rebel Grots as Ash Nomads, or digging into these Empire bits I got for this Orlock. Ooh, so Orlocks or Ash Nomads. I do like... How do Ash Nomads play not in the Wastes? Or is it entirely like a Wastes campaign that they're doing? Because that would make a big difference, I would think. I'm going to write these down. That way I can... 4, 3, 4, 4, 4, 2, 4 plus, 2, 6 plus, 5 plus, 8 plus, 8 plus. So that's the Forge Boss. Forge Boss does have access to heavy weapons. So they can activate 2. So I think they just don't get the bugs. Ah, gotcha. I like the bugs. The bugs! Bug! Okay, so just for sake of... we're going to have to figure out how to make these boys shaped better. So we got our Forge Tyrant. They have activation of 2. Our Forge Boss has an activation of 1. So that's 5. We're probably going to have like 7. I'm thinking. And that lies the difference. If we went with the stemmer. Okay. Now, where is Specialist? Where does that come in? I think that's down here. Specialist, yep, okay. There's not a promotion. Phase, there's confirmed So that's cool. We want to do that at some point. Okay. Yeah, no, I think we know. I think I know what I need. Boop, boop, boop. The bugs. I like the bugs. I like the bugs a lot. Forge Boss. Okay, so our main character. Broken, recovered. They're going to be using someone probably... Do we want to go Natborn or Vatborn? I would assume not another Unborn. They're here. Outsiders bring a variety of benefits from the other parts of the Command to House Glad. One of the hardiest of the clan, often struck great pain and peril. I don't think we want... I would like to do one of each for our 3 characters, since... yeah, we get to play along with all the different things. So one of them needs to be a Vatborn, one of them needs to be a Natborn. Longer lived, more evolved. Their genetic cousin from the Vat. I think the Natborn is going to be our Forge Boss. So Natborn. And then Stimmer. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do the Stimmer maybe at the same time, just because I'm kind of flipping through them. And also, so that's a hundo. This is 125. 1 hundo base. Stimmer 125. And they are a Vat born. I really want to do my 3, just because we're going to have 3 characters essentially. That should be the right math, right? Game composition must be 1 fighter with leader. Bam. Number of fighters. The game fighter special rule must always be equal to or higher than the number of fighters without. So 4 to 3. I'm assuming 7 is where we're going to cap out, or 8. So really 3. Yeah. So 4. This is skill, strength, toughness, wounds, initiative, attack, leadership, cool, willpower, and intelligence. Alrighty, so 125. We don't need to put that there, because that's going to confuse me. Or here. We're going to put 125 base. 100 base. That born till 0. That born plus 20 creds. Yeah. Beep boop 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 boop. Bow. I need my water. Okay, so let's start with the Natborn, that we can put 2 on them, right? Fighters with the gang hierarchy, leader or champion, may have a maximum of 2. Gangs, Juves, all the others only get 1. So yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good. Working through the thing. Working through the thing. We can't use the Tyrant Zone, which would be awesome. Probably going to go with Iron Flesh. Iron Flesh, generations of forged workers have passed onto this fighter an impressive resistance to pain. Their skin hardened against both blades and burning goblets of steel. Increase this fighter's wounds by 1. That sounds cool. Because this is going to be, I think, yeah, as Goliaths want whoever, they're going to want the best of Goliaths to prove the point that they are as good and stay as well. So of course they're going to be a Natborn, and they're going to be pretty redonkulous. We can't use Tyrant's Zone. Redundant organs. Extra organs have grown in the fighter's body, providing them with redundancies in case of several or severe internal trauma. When they roll on the lasting energy table, they may roll twice, except the lower result cannot be combined with over-engineered. We're probably going to go with Iron Flesh and Prime Specimen, but counts the leadership skill set as one of the primary sets. Okay, that's pretty dope. In addition, if this fighter... I do like that. The idea, Alpha's lineage, the blood of the Alpha flows in this fighter's veins. Oh yeah, Natborn. Because they are Natborn, we have to adjust their things. They get the clever, but cautious, and physical perfection rules. Natborn alter their starting characteristics by increasing their intelligence by 2, so this goes to 6. Increase their willpower by 1, so this goes to 7. I like the little power play. And decrease their cool, so 6. that right? Yeah. 676. It is kind of tempting to give them, since they get to Alpha's lineage, because then we would be able to group activate just as many as our leader. And I do kind of like the idea of having a second leader almost that's like, So let's see what the internet, specifically Goonhammer, all of the ones, and I use them kind of as a basis of, hey, what do other people typically build? So I know what is and is not broken and what is and is not an auto pick. That way I know what to set the principal F for. But yeah, so pretty much Natborn, everyone goes with either Prime Specimen, which is +1 to the characteristic, and Iron Flesh, which is an extra wound. Prime Specimen, Iron Flesh, Prime Specimen, Iron Flesh, Prime Specimen, and no, Natborn, Iron Flesh, Natborn, Iron Flesh. They just went with one, I guess. Yeah, Dermal Hardening. That's for Vapborn. So. Dermal Hardening. Yeah, so it does not look like many people go for that. I feel like that Alpha's lineage is pretty cool. Let me see. Sorry, Mushweeds, just trying to check on this. Boop, boop, boop. So, also have physical perfection. So physical perfection, Natborn have the blessings of near perfect flesh and can build their muscles faster than any other Goliath subtype. Natborn leaders, champions, prospects, Jews, specialists can increase their strength or toughness at a cost of 6 XP instead of 8. When they gain an advancement, they can either roll on Ganger advancement table or increase their strength or toughness by 1. When added to the gang, they can choose from any of the genes Smith falls. Okay. I think, honestly, I really do like the idea of having like a little, a secondary one. If I were this rule is activated there. Yeah. I think that's how I want to go with it. Natborn, I think I want to do Adapter Alpha's lineage. Which is definitely not the most competitive, but I really like thematically the idea of like, oh, okay, now it's like almost 2 leaders, one being a Natborn, one being an Unborn, a very Platoon-esque kind of vibe. Or I kind of like them only having one goon though. Would you say typically? I don't want it to be. Yeah, because then they would have almost half. They would have half numerically. I guess it depends which half they have. I'm going to go with that. I do like it. I like the story of it. And I don't want to do simply the most competitive by any means. So we're doing that. Okay. Boop, boop, boop. If I can improve one of the characteristics by 1, generations of forge workers have pressed on this impressive resistance to pain. Their skin hardened. So do we want to increase their wounds? Alpha's lineage is plus 20. I'm sure that that's probably not worth it in the long run, but I like that. I don't know, shit, being able to activate 2, an extra one as opposed to just 1. That's probably pretty good in the grand scheme of things. I think so. I think it is. And they are going to have an extra. Do we want to do wound? I think a wound. 3. So we'll go with Iron Flesh. What do we want to do? So yeah, Alpha's lineage and Prime Special. Remember since the deal that all Galaths aspire to. We're going to go with Prime Specimen, but we're going to spend it on the wound. Even though Iron Flesh does the same thing. From I like that concept. Physical perfection. Prime Specimen. Nah, we'll just go with Iron Flesh. That is what it is. Plus 10. And then we've already got a lot of character building in there. Boop, boop, boop. 952. Damn, I'm sorry if this took way too long, guys. So, we have those done. We now know the basic cost is going to be, Jesus, 150? Oof. Oof. But we've got a lot of good stats there. And essentially a second little boss now. Clever but cautious. And physical perfection. And they are going to be equipped with probably, I'm assuming a grenade launcher. And probably with some smokes. Smoke grenades. Is that what literally everyone equips them with? I'm betting. Grenade launcher, chain axe. Grenade launcher, chain axe. Stub gun, chain axe. Chain axe. Just a chain axe. Renderizer. Bolt pistol. Yeah, I don't have a missile launcher. Jesus. We're going to go with a grenade launcher and probably a chain axe. We need a grenade launcher. We're not going to do smokes yet because I'm pretty sure. We'll go back and we'll see how much money we have later on. Chain axe. Grenade launcher is 55. 55 creds. And that's with frags and cracks. Man, I've got to mow and I really don't want to. I need to finish my list instead, and I feel like I've not made much progress, but I mean I've made a good amount, I suppose. Hiss. Chain Axe is 25. Okay, and then furnace plates. As much as I'm like, yeah, let's buy all the other things, we don't have credits for that. I know we don't. So that's going to put us at, I'll fill that out later. 100, 20, 40, 50, 205, 210, 235. Yeah, that's not too bad. 235. Okay, and then the stemmer is probably going to be more expensive. Stemmer's 4, move, 2 plus weapon skill. That's nasty. 4 plus 4, 4, 2 plus 3, 8 plus 4 plus 7 plus and 8 plus. They are that one. They're going to be real scary. I'm pretty sure we got some pretty scary things in here. Base line Goliaths. When added to the gang, that modern fighters can choose one with Gene Smith upgrades opposite. What do we got here? What's the scariest? Dermal hardening. The fighter's skin is far thicker than normal, akin to a coating of ballistic cloth wrapped around their entire body. Increase this fighter's toughness by 1. They'd be toughness 5 then. That's scary. That sounds good. Hyper healing. That's okay. Forget what I just said. This fighter's flesh retains many of the regenerative properties of the amnio tank. This fighter can roll an extra injury dice when making recovery tests and choose the dice they wish to use. In addition, during the post-battle sequence, if this fighter has any lasting injuries, rolls d6. On a 6, the fighter can heal one of their lasting injuries and remove its effects from the fighter card. So we're going to go with that. That's a... You're going to need hyper healing. That seems like the choice. How do people equip their stimmers? Natborns. So not how dermal hardening and overdeveloped musculature. Unborn agility. Not the way I am doing it then. And that's fine, you know. What do they think about this? Similar to part of the unstoppable skill, or part of having a friend to assist you recover. This means the fighter can double roll and pick one result when taking recovery tests. It also gives a chance to remove lasting injuries on a 6. This is by no means a bad ability, especially in a ranged fighter who is more likely to go down from enemy shooting as opposed to going down at melee and getting coup de grace. Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that. It's not going to help me from getting coup de grace at all. Which, I don't want that. So let's read what the others are instead of just picking which one's most expensive. Reduced bone density. That doesn't sound good. That sounds like one we're going to put on someone that's not what we're wanting. Let's see. Dermal hardening, fearless but foolish, and overdeveloped musculature. Dermal hardening, fearless but foolish. A quirk of the indoctrination process has resulted in this fighter having almost no regard for their own life. That sounds like what we want. Increase this fighter's... yeah, that's good. Fighter's intelligence bonus. Absolutely. This is great. That's what we want. That's not good at all. Hardened immune system. Always finds will purchase in this flesh. Nope. Age and brutality of gang warfare have caused nerve burnout in this fighter, making them more unstable. Reduce this fighter's cool by 1. It's a 2-up cool. That's probably... You can't increase... Cool can't go that low, right? Can cool go? What is the maximum cool test? 2-up cool test. Hell yeah. Jesus. Okay, so nerve burnout is -5 credits. Reduce 5 by 1. Increase the fighter's cool by 1. Oh, reduce is supposed to increase, but reduce the fighter's intelligence. No, okay, so that's actually not good, and that's great. Terminal biology, terminal hardening, increases toughness. Yeah, that's good. Overdeveloped musculature. Massive slap-like muscles cocoon this fighter, and even the muscles have muscles. All this extra bulk does, however, mean they are slow, even by the standards of their kind. Increases fighter strength by 1, but reduce their initiative by 1. So then they would be strength 5, but I don't think that that's really going to make a difference, because what weapons do they have? Paired pulverizers are probably what we're going to go with. That's insane sounding. Okay, Goliath Steamer may only be equipped with weapons from Chestnut's list, or from pistols, heavy weapons, and close combat weapons. Paired pulverizers. I think paired pulverizers is what we're going to want. If I remember correctly, they're pretty horrifying. Strength +1, -1. Melee, paired, pulverize. What? Okay, so paired, fighter equipped with paired counts as being armed with dual weapons with the melee trait for the purpose of calculating number attacks, so they +1. Additionally, making a charge, double action, their attack characteristic is doubled. Oh my god! Okay. Additionally, making a charge, double action, they're... Okay, so they have 6. They have 6 +1 on the charge. What? No. Okay. Fighter that's armed with paired weapons counts as being armed with dual weapons with the melee traits for purpose of calculating attacks they will roll. Additionally, when making a charge action, their attack characteristic is doubled. So they would make 6 +2. So 8 if they charge. That is nightmarish. That's hilarious. I love that. Okay, so that's what we're going to have. And what is pulverize? After making an injury roll for an attack made by this weapon, the attacking player can roll a d6 if the result is equal to or higher than the target's toughness, or is a natural 6. They can change 1 injury dice from a flesh wound to a serious wound. That's nightmarish as well. And what was the last thing on a pulverizer? This is a meat making weapon. Good. Oh, just melee. I like that. So, master crafted paired pulverizers. The difference is just the master craft. Okay. That could be a lot less. God, the doubling attacks. That's definitely one go paired. Paired magnetic fist, paired pulverizers. Spud jackers. Nah. We want to go with pulverizers. That is real scary sounding. Now, assault grenade launchers. How does that work? I don't think I can carry anything else. And that's fine. I'm good with that. Yeah, I think that's it. I think just, we don't want hyper healing. Get that out of here. They're cat born, and they're gonna have let's see. Okay, so that's why I was looking at that. What was the strength on that weapon? They are strength 4. It is Strength +1, so they're going to be at strength 5. Do I need to go any higher than that? I don't think I do. I think that's good. Am I the only one who thinks that? Okay. I think that is what I need to do, but let me double check. Boop, boop. Fair trade means blah, blah, blah. Yep, okay. Yep, pulverizers. Okay. That's what I want. And yeah, so. And I think I want to make him. Where did you go? Here it is. Okay. Natborn. Nope. Everyone typically picks dermal hardening, fearless but foolish, or overdeveloped musculature. Fearless but foolish increases fighter's cool by 1. That's having a 3-up cool, pretty awesome. Yeah, and also there's a steel. Yeah, okay. I'm liking how this is going. And then missing initiative by 1. Initiative is 3-up already. God, their initiative's fast. Okay. Make them strength 5. Make them strength 6. Is there a big difference between strength 6? Let me see. Okay. I think that's probably what I need to go with. Fearless but foolish. Or no. Dermal hardening. Fighter skin is far thicker than normal. Dermal hardening sounds sick as hell. I like the idea that this is essentially just a guinea pig that she keeps around. Overdeveloped muscles, massive slow blood muscles. Muscles have muscles. That's also great. That means they're slow, even with things of their kind. Increases fighter strength by 1, but reduce their initiative by 1. So their initiative is now a 4-up, as opposed to 3-up. So they're just. God, yeah. So, oof. Or make their cool 3-up. I need to look at the table for damage real quick. And then I'll probably stop, because I do need to. God, I don't want to. See, there we go. My leg is just fucking up recently. What's that name? I'm old. Is the strength twice the toughness or greater? 2-up. Okay, so yeah, 6. 6 is actually the magic number that I want to hit. Because then it's twice what most people's toughness is. So we want to have strength more than anything, actually. Now, cool. We already have a cool 4-up. That's pretty sick. I don't think we really need more cool. They're already pretty. Yeah, I'm good with this. So yeah, let's do overdeveloped muscles and dermal hardening. So increase their toughness to 5. Yeah, so we're making just a baby. Baby berserker. Toughness 5, wounds 2. I love that. That's great. Dermal hardening plus 10. And then overdeveloped. musculature. It's +5. Reduce their initiative. 4 up. And their strength becomes 5. So strength 5, toughness 5. That's scary. Yeah. And then air pulverizers. And furnace plates. I think that's it. So those are my characters, and then from here I just have to make my other dudes. I'm probably going to stop here. Sorry, I have not done anything other than just talk, and come up with this. I can, if you guys would like to watch me do the rest of this, I can stream the rest, or I can just kind of complete it and then tell you guys about it. Up to you all. But I do have to mow, and it's probably dry by now. I don't want to do it, but I gotta make myself do it. You know what I mean? I am sticking with one thing, and I'm knocking it the fuck out. And I'm doing commissions. I need to make a new little video about, hey, commissions, this is how they work, pricing, all that stuff. Just because I feel like I have scared the shit out of people for like to contact me about the cost of stuff. Because I do think that I am more reasonable than people assume, depending on what they want. It just depends what you want. But yeah, until next time. You good, homie? Do whatever works for you. I zoned out while showering. Crack the list. Get stuck into the bash. That's what I'm thinking. I need to just get on it and get something done. I've got to get to my sculpts. I've touched base with Ramshackle Curtis, so I know that the Trench Crusade stuff just fucked me up. I put too much time into it to have it go the way it did, and trying to get back to a plan has just taken a lot, and I've also had my own shit going on, so we're now at the point where I'm just like, okay, making plans. My ass just broke. Oh no, don't break your ass. Break your ass. My ass just broke. Broke ass. Yeah, no, I get it. My ass just broke. Yeah, man. I'm out of it also. I'm tired. Pretty much. Blop, blop, blop. I gotta pick something and do the thing. Ramshackle Curtis, hit him up about, hey, what would you like me to sculpt for you? Just because you're one of the people that reached out first and wanting to help me get my name out in the community. And he suggested a mini gang. So I'm working on the concepts of a little mini gang to sculpt and send his way. I'm going to reach out to TMP, Matt, to see if he would be interested in me sculpting anything for him to cast. And then I need to touch base with the Lewios. And then from there, it's just getting my shit together and being available to make things and showing people, hey, if you want something made, I can make it. Just doing the thing. I need to do the thing. So it's time to do the thing. Quit giving people my bullshit. Yeah. I got to mow the yard, but other than that, I'm going to get shit done today, guys. I love you all. Take care. Thank you guys so much for your time. It is the most valuable thing that you have. Never forget that. I say it every time, and I mean it. Possum, Offbeat Builds, Roz, I think that's everybody that was in here today. Thank you guys so much. Yeah. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Sit pretty. Always be proud of who you are. I don't know. I kind of want to do something before Friday. Like I'll probably do an afternoon hang and touch base. But yeah, I'm gonna get something done and gonna get other things on the move. It's been too long and I got shit to do. So take care. Love you all. Have a good one. Goodbye, my sweets. You too. Take care, my friends. Booty boop a bee doop boo doop.